Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Overload. I am Peter, that is Matt. We talk about movies on this show. This is our once a month movie show in which we each pick a film, we put it to a vote on patreon.com/mailfuzztv, and our patrons vote for which one they want to talk about, and the winner of this vote was Easy A. Which was Matt's pick. Matt picked this because he felt left out that he wasn't there for the Mean Girls review on 121 in Flux. Is that not correct?
No, that's part of the reason, but this is a movie that I do love. So, like...
I was not accusing you of picking something you didn't like. I was just saying that's why you picked a teen movie, because you're like, I wanted to be on the Mean Girls review. Peter and Connor talking about it. Also, Firefly's here as well, which doesn't mean much to the audio folk, but my cat is here.
Yeah, my dogs are at the door. I learned my lesson. Don't let them in right now.
Firefly's being overly sociable at all the wrong times right now. But yeah, so Easy A. We're going to talk about this. We're going to start spoiler free. We'll give you a warning before we go into spoilers somewhere in the middle. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, what is Easy A? Easy A is a teen movie starring Emma Stone. It's from 2010, which, by the way, that's 8 years ago. This movie's now 8 years old.
No, not quite. It came out in October, so it's about 7.5.
Oh, well, I mean, okay, half a year of a difference. But the point I'm making, though, is that even though I'm watching this, I'm like, Emma Stone feels too old to play a high schooler, and now she's way too old to play now she couldn't pass for it at all. But it's just, I'm watching this, and it's like they reference Facebook like it's a new thing at one point, and I'm like, this is weird. Like this is even this is feeling not dated in like a storytelling sense. It's just like, it feels like it's of an era now.
Yeah, and that's okay, because I do. The older I get, the more I agree with the English teacher. Like he has that whole rant about social media, and if he only could see Snapchat come down the way, So.
Oh, come on, cat. Come on. Come on. Don't be a little shit. You're it's all over the place now.
This is hilarious. This hasn't happened in a good while.
He's been a little awful, terrible cat. Alright. So, Easy A, teen movie. And the plot of this is that basically Emma Stone's character inadvertently creates a rumour that she had sex when she did not, and this new friend of hers, who happens to be gay, doesn't want everyone to know he's gay because of the bullying and so forth, basically asks her to tell a lie and say that she's had sex with him, and they make a big show of it. They go to a party, they pretend to have sex in a room, making lots of noises, and she basically gets this reputation based on complete lies, based on a fake couple of lies. Yep. And it becomes a thing where other kids are paying her for her to just acknowledge that she did something with them. So she gets paid in money, sometimes gift cards, and so on, depending on what the joke is of the scene.
Yeah, it's usually gift cards, because that's how she writes it off to her conscience.
So that's the premise of the movie, and of course she learns things. Of course it interferes with actual love life perspectives, as the movie goes on, and whatnot. So that is the gist of the film, and you wanted to talk about it. So obviously you like it a lot.
Yes, I do. Huge fan. It's not just because Emma Stone. I know that's what the go-to is. She's a redhead. We all know my fondness, but the script is such a good script. Like, in fact, I found it as I was watching it, and I think I'm going to give it a read-through, which I normally don't do. Something I should definitely take advantage of in this digital age.
I have read some movie scripts. I have never read a script for a film that get made.
Yeah.
I've went and read scripts that never got made because I think that's more interesting because it didn't happen.
Yeah, but my writer brain wants to see how, what makes it to the screen, because originally this was a much harder R, and they toned it down to get the PG-13 because at the time, R-rated comedies weren't big again, so I want to see how much, because everyone knows life's pretty R-rated, especially amongst teens, so I want to see how much actually was toned down, and so I'm in the process of trying to figure out how to get that onto my iPad, so I can have it on the go.
I don't think it suffered for it though. I feel like when you're watching it, doesn't feel like they're neutering anything. It feels like, I mean, sure, they could have had more raunchier actual sex things in it, but I don't think that necessarily is needed for what the movie's doing. No,
there's the one scene where she calls the girl a twat, that I was wondering if it was supposed to be a much harsher word.
Yeah. That's actually the scene. I remember watching this when it not in the theaters, but soon after it came out.
Yeah.
That was the scene where I learned that Americans don't know how to say the word twat.
Yeah.
Because I had no, I actually had to like. It wasn't until she was explaining it to her parents that I got she was trying to say twat. I didn't understand that she was using a word for vagina. I didn't get it because she says it wrong. Twat.
Yeah. Twat.
Like at. Twat.
No. Twat.
No!
Man.
You're saying with an O sound. It's not an O sound. God damn it. This is not hard.
Colloquial English, I guess. But yeah, so that's what got me going. And not, limits usually with films force people to be more creative. So I don't know if it would have changed the movie all that much from what we got. But yeah, it's a solid written script. I love Olive. Olive Pendergast is one of my favorite characters in any movie. She's hilarious. She's witty.
And the fact that it references like 5 John Hughes movies and it clearly has an inspiration from them, that has nothing to do with your love at all.
There's a couple Ferris Bueller, things going on, specifically from the writer that he wanted in there. So not gonna be mad at that.
Mm-hmm. It's got a really big cast, a lot of recognisable faces. Outside of Emma Stone, Amanda Bynes is in there. Who I don't know what she's done since then, but she was a child star before this movie. So
yeah, pre Internet Insanity.
So
Amanda
she's there.
Bynes.
The teachers, Thomas Haden Church, the parents, Patricia Clarkson, and what's his face, Stanley Tucci are there. Malcolm McDowell's the principal. He's only in one scene, I think, or maybe 2 scenes.
Yeah, one or two.
But,
He is not that much, but it's enough that you're like, oh, Malcolm McDowell.
Lisa Kudrow's the guidance counsellor. Like, a lot of names. A lot of names there. So, pardon me, I have hair in my mouth. So that's that dealt with.
You have your cat on your desk.
I know, it's the cats. It's always the cats. I blame them. I blame them entirely. So no, big cast, witty script. I mean, I like the movie too. I don't think I like it quite as much as you do. You've got like a unnatural
No, it's not unnatural. It's very natural. It's all right.
That's good. It's a solid teen movie. Emma Stone, I think, is a big reason why it works. Not that the rest of the cast aren't good, because they are.
No,
but
she has that wittiness to her that you buy. Like she's not. She plays off the type of character that you believe this is how she talks.
I think she's the reason why she's the reason why it's not just a generic teen movie. I think if it was someone all in her who didn't give that character the pop that she has, the wit that she has, I think it would be a decent enough movie, but it wouldn't really be memorable. No one would really be talking about it anymore. I think because it was her though, and because she gives that character life, I think that's why you are still thinking about it 8 years later.
Well, I put it up there with like 10 Things. Because it's the same with Julia Stiles, is she makes that character, so true to life that it's still endearing all these years later. I mean, that movie, talk about this one being 8 years old.
Oh yeah, that one's like 18 years old at this point.
Yeah, and it still holds up. That's one I watch probably numerous times a year.
I haven't seen it in over a decade. I remember liking it more than I thought I would at the time.
Oh.
Because I was young, but...
Yeah.
What were you... what were you on about?
I have another one to add to the list now.
Oh, God. I've got 10 things I hate about you, Matt. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh, there's more. I know this.
Top 50. That's the next countdown in flux. Top 50 things I hate about Matt.
Only 51. But yeah, I also do like a lot of the side characters are really well used. From Amanda Bynes, her character, what's her name?
Marianne.
Marianne. Yeah. From her, she's the goody two-shoes that's always up in everyone's business.
Yeah, she's ultra religious, so much so that she calls religion of other cultures science fiction and refuses to go. That's one of the little jokes in there. Actually, our best friend, not Marianne's best friend, Ola's best friend, is played by Aly Michalka, who... I didn't know when I first saw this, but now I do know her quite well because she's one of the main characters in iZombie. So it was actually kind of weird seeing her on this. I'm like, oh shit. Now, admittedly, I do think that she's... I mean, this goes for everyone, but she especially felt far too old to be a teenager in high school to me.
Yeah.
I was like, you look 25. What is this nonsense?
I also like, though, that they use that in one of the characters, is the one guy that kind of brings us all crashing down for Olive is actually, he's been held back.
Oh, he's Marianne's friend, or boyfriend even.
Boyfriend.
And he's like, he's been in senior year for 4 years, which is a fine joke, but I think it lessens its impact when every single other person looks the same age as it.
Yeah, it does, but he especially looks...
See if they actually cast all 16-year-olds, but he was clearly 22. That would have been a really funny gag, I think. But because they're all, at least 20, probably.
Yeah.
It's a bit... I mean, maybe not. I imagine there's probably some that are 18. Typically, when you watch a movie or a TV show where they're all in high school, they usually have some that are, the low end will be 18, which is, borderline actual high school age.
Yeah, like it's around the shooting thing where up until then they're still considered kids, and you have to take all these considerations.
There's a lot of other rules, which is why if they're over 15, they'll actually cast someone who's 18.
Yep. It just saves them a headache. And sometimes it doesn't work, and then other times it does. And I don't feel it as much with Emma Stone as you do. I feel she feels young enough here because she's supposed to be an older soul. You know, her whole.
I'm not even really complaining because like this is like every teen movie and teen TV show does this. It's not really like a complaint in the sense because if I complained about it here, I'd have to complain about it every single time. So it's not a criticism so much as it's just. Like, you know, because these are all actors, or at least a good chunk of them are actors that I just know a lot now because I see them in a lot of movies. Emma Stone especially is like a huge star now. She's in everything. Like going back to this, I'm like, nah, she still feels like she looks the same, give or take, as she does now. Yeah. So she still like, so it's almost like multiplying how old she feels and compared to what she's supposed to be in the character.
Yeah. I was just doing that compared to her friend, compared to Rhiannon, Aly, however you say her last name. That one definitely, she feels much, much older. So, you know, I think sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But
because our main love interest as well, Woodchuck Todd. He also looks like he's 24. Like he doesn't look like teenage.
That dude looks my age now.
He does. Like, you know, it's funny because me and Connor have been watching Black Lightning. And there's a lot of high school students in that, right? But there's one who's like, no, he's like 26. Like, don't even try. Like, no one in high school is this well built. You've just not had enough time to exercise to be that well built in high school.
Yeah. You don't got the 25-year-old testosterone running through you that gives you the peak muscles.
There was one point that this high school kid takes his top off, and it's like, my God, this guy is ripped. And I'm like, no one in high school had this chest.
Which I love that joke because they have that Marianne got the old school mascot. They were the Blue Devils. And because they were the Blue Devils, she had a petition and made a stink that they got it changed. But Woodchuck Todd used to be Blue Devil Todd, and he was shirtless and painted blue as the mascot. So when he shows up as a woodchuck, all the girls are like, oh, we miss shirtless Todd. And I thought that was a pretty good joke there. So yeah, I mean, obviously the plot means that we're going to be exploring sexual themes and stuff, and it's a coming-of-age story. It's kind of learning what reputation means and what sexual awakening means and what it means and all this. Because ultimately, our character journey, she thinks this is an okay idea at first, just to sort of trick everyone and have this reputation, but of course over the course of the film she is going to learn that there are serious downsides to this, and it does at a certain point it doesn't matter that it's actually all a lie. If everyone thinks it, then the treatment she gets and the look she gets are just as real anyway. It doesn't really matter. The court of public opinion.
So, you know, and obviously the whole thing comes from the Scarlet Letter, which she's studying in English class, and that's where the letter A comes from, where she, you know, it's on the poster and stuff, you know, in the trailer, where she puts the A on her clothes for adulterer. Yep. And that's like a big part of the movie.
And I love that there's a bit about that, because she brings it up, and that's where she gets the idea from, and the English teacher's like, you know, I wish they would just watch the original movie, because I'm tired about hearing Demi Moore, you know, in the bathtub.
You know, Matt, for the spoiler-free section, you're spoiling a lot of jokes.
That's fine. Yeah.
Is it funny? If we get a lot of angry comments saying you've spoiled Easy A, admittedly it's 8 years old, but if we get a lot of angry comments...
It's fine. That's not the type of thing that's going to change the... It's not like you're sitting there waiting for the Nathaniel Hawthorne joke, you know? Like...
Oh, sure, but I just, you know. So, I mean, the main narrative device of the movie is that she's actually telling the story from, you know, after everything's happened. She's doing a webcast. I feel like we don't use the word webcast anymore, which also maybe dates the movie to a certain specific time period.
She'd be hitting up Facebook Live nowadays.
Yeah, so she's like telling everyone this, and she's sort of going through it. And obviously the movie, by the time it gets to the end, kind of builds up to why she chooses to do this. But that gives it a narrative structure where she kind of breaks it up into chapters, and it gives you these little bits in between and whatnot. I will say what is bizarre about this is they went out of their way to make this webcam look like shit. Because I guess in 2010 webcams still look like shit. But like they went look so far with it making it pixely that it just looked really, really bad on my TV. And I thought, but... I mean, our webcams don't look that bad on the screen. They look fine. Yeah,
they didn't realize there'd be a whole movie that was set on Skype. You know, come down the pipe.
A decent movie.
This would be just fine. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just one thing. I mean, you know, technology and whatnot. I applaud it because I do like the framing of it through that. through the webcam and her telling
Oh,
the
sure,
story.
no, it's a good device that makes it gives it an introduction, it gives it a little bit of narration here or there, and it gives it more. Again, speaking about how Emma Stone's kind of what makes the movie kind of go above just being decent is that. And that's to say, I mean, obviously we said the script's very good. The script is very good. It's very witty. Almost too much for its own good. There's actually a couple of moments with the parents where they are so witty about their parenting skills that I'm like, okay, you're actually stretching the believability of how much these parents would actually say to their kids.
Yeah, but to me that endears them to me because I love the parents.
Oh, sure, no, absolutely, and I like these type of parents in movies and stuff. But there's a point where the dad's like flat out joking about his daughter's reputation, and I'm like, I feel like, regardless of his sense of humour, there's a point where even the father would stop joking about this.
Yeah, maybe.
She's like, oh, by the way, parents, if you hear a rumour that I've got chlamydia, just ignore it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, or he could be like Vince McMahon and just be like, oh no, call my daughter a whore, but with 14 other words, like he's known to do.
16 minutes till the wrestling reference from Matt. There you go. Had to get in there somewhere.
If you had the over/under, I applaud you.
So I split. But like I say, the narration and the wraparound segments with the webcam stuff, it means that even more than it was, the movie is filled with her voice and her perspective on things. So even in the narration, she's making jokes. So she's doing the webcam, but she's making jokes. Then she's in the scenes as the main character. She's in, I think, pretty much every scene. There's very little cutting out. There's very minor cutting away to other characters. That happens here or there, but it's very much her movie more than it even would be like a normal protagonist, because she's just constantly, it's coming back around to her. It feels like it's really her story. Not only that she's the center of it, but she's also telling the story. It's her story in every single way possible. And it's good because, I mean, that would kill the movie if we had a bad actress, but because we had Emma Stone, so it doesn't kill the movie. It works. And when she's sarcastic, it's great. There's a section of the film where the what's her name, Marianne, Amanda Bynes' character. I was going to call her a mean phrase, but I'm not going to. But she like decides to befriend Olive, and there's this sarcasm coming off of her, Olive's comments and her facial expressions during this section. There's a couple of moments in this that are heavily gifted and are used as reaction gifs all the time on the internet. I'm thinking of the O'Byrne. When she first does like the slow motion walk through the high school corridor where everyone's looking at them. That scene that's in every goddamn teen movie ever. And then when she turns around and gives the thumbs up to Marianne in one scene. That is so heavily, that sarcastic thumbs up is
it helps so that heavily. Emma Stone is that expressive.
Oh, she's really expressive.
Yeah, so it lends itself to that. But yeah, it's, again, we talked about the script and whatnot and her performance. It would, if this was anyone else. I'm trying to think who you could sub in, and I don't think you really could. It almost feels like they wrote it for her, even though I know they didn't.
Yeah, I think there's
anybody else in the role.
I think there's others you can put in this role. It would change it a little bit because it would have less of that Emma Stone flair, and it would like shift gears slightly towards someone else. But like, you could probably have someone like Aubrey Plaza in this role. Yeah,
although I think it would be a bit darker because she's
sure, yeah. Like I'm saying, it would probably shift the tone a little bit, but they could pull off this character in this story. So I think we'll give the spoiler warning just so we can freely talk about plot points if need be. So full spoilers from this point on for Easy A. So obviously there's actually a moment that does get almost a little bit dark, and it's when the one guy eventually asks her out, because obviously up until this point the movie's kind of making this point where, because everyone thinks she's a slut, no one's actually asking her out. Like, right? And I thought, okay, that's making a point in of itself, right? Is the idea of reputation. But then that guy actually does ask her out, and it seems to be going okay. Like he's making jokes at her.
Yeah, and she's completely terribly awkward because you don't get to see the side. She's pretty, not that she's vulnerable, but she's allowing herself to be relaxed. And not have to put up this witty front.
She's a goofy character. Like he's asking her out, thinking she's this just
sultry.
Yeah, this sultry person who's trying to get into his pants like all night, but she's not. She's actually this goofy, likable character. And they get outside because obviously at this point she's fighting with her best friend. She tries to run out because it's her birthday and she doesn't want to get seen. And they get to the car park, and he tries to pay her
Yeah.
for sex. He tries to give her a coupon for something for sex.
Yeah.
And she gets offended, of course, and he tries to kiss her, and he keeps ignoring the fact that she's saying no, stop it, and it actually gets you uncomfortable and dark. It is probably the only scene in the entire movie where it drops the humor and the fun and gets a little bit serious, and it's kind of like, oh, here's the consequences, perhaps, and the dangers of maybe going down this path that you've went down, is that this guy thinks you're like this, and some guys obviously won't stop. As I mean, hell, with Me Too and everything that's been on the last year or so, more relevant than ever. But and she's like, okay, right, so hey, maybe I've overstepped a line here. Not that I'm saying it's her fault in this scene; it is definitely not.
No. But that is her reputation, and that it is from. This is all from her. It's not like somebody else spread this lie about her, and she's trying to own it. This all comes from her machinations. Machinations? Yeah, whatever one. But and I feel for her in that scene. Because you slowly see the realization that, oh no, he's not interested in you for you, he's interested in, for other reasons. And it's heartbreaking.
You see it in her face as the scene happens. It is heartbreaking, and it sells the point of the movie really well. And then, of course, Woodchuck comes in.
Todd with the save.
Yeah, with the save. And again, he comes out, he works at a waiter at this restaurant, he comes out in his work clothes, and I'm like, yeah, you look like 27, dude.
Yeah, bro. You're bartending.
And he takes her home, and it finally gets kind of sweet. And I like that they play with the whole fact, because at one point in the middle she says, oh, I wish teenage life was actually like this, and she references a bunch of John Hughes movies. She's like, oh, I wish it was at the end of Breakfast Club, where Bender would put up his arm because he knew he maybe because he had a chance with me, or the John Cusack with the boombox and so on. And I like that the idea is that by the end of the movie, all the other characters have been watching this, and some of them don't get the point of her story, some of them do. No. But the woodchuck actually shows up with the lawnmower, the boombox, and the song. Don't forget about me. He does all of them. He mixes them all together, and it's a sweet moment. But it's a really good narrative thing where she mentioned that earlier on, and it's like, oh no, the other characters did actually watch this. We actually see the fallout of them seeing all this information. And you see, I was a little bit worried actually, because obviously it'd been a while since I watched it, because I watched this once, soon after it came out, and I haven't seen it since. And I'd forgotten how it ended up with the best friend, because she's still kind of like, they're still kind of mad at each other, like especially like when Emma Stone has her singing, dancing number where she tells everyone to watch the webcam. Like everyone's still looking at her in shock, including their best friend, and I'm like, does she not make up with her best friend? That feels weird not to do that. But there is a moment in that final bit where you see that she texts her saying, sorry for lying to you, and it seems like they're going to make up. But because for a minute I was like, man, because her best friend's like such a big part of the opening 30 minutes, and then she kind of drifts away and isn't, you see her occasionally after that. And I don't know if that's a critique, it's just more of an observation that she's kind of like such a big part and then does kind of fade away and other characters become more important. It's not a big deal, but it's certainly something I noticed in terms of just the structure.
No, I noticed that too. But I just took that as, they do have a big fight about this lie and whatnot, so it would make sense for her not be around for those couple of weeks.
Yeah, and obviously she represents something in the story as well, because earlier on she's actually excited by the fact that people refer to her as big tits. She's actually excited by that. She wants that image out there, and it's kind of, if nothing else, I think the movie's exploring the idea of like teen girls maybe thinking they want to be thought of as something, but then maybe realizing that's not the case. And it's almost like her best friend is the one who wants this reputation, but then Olive kind of accidentally stumbles into it and goes full throttle. Yeah,
because what causes the fight initially is like she feels that her friend's jealous of her for something that didn't actually happen. And this all started because she didn't want to go on a camping trip with her friend's weird family.
Or weird parents.
Where these hippie, So she makes up that, she's had a date with this college guy and whatnot, and so her friend.
Oh yeah, but I guess at its core, if you really want to look at it like this, it's just don't lie.
Yeah, that's what it comes out to. It's kind of like The Office, where that's what the stripper's lesson to Michael is secrets are no fun. Secrets could hurt someone. That's kind of like that with lies.
No, kind of everything comes from a lie, and to an extension of that, it's, you know, be yourself. By lying, she's pretending to be someone she's not, and all it does is lead to misery and pain and heartache and the end of a marriage. Although I don't necessarily think the marriage itself was her fault. It's not her fault that Lisa Kudrow was cheating on Thomas Haden Church with a student.
No, not at all. It was just that...
Although, as she points out, he's actually been held back for 4 years, so he's you know, he's like 22. He's fine.
Which I thought that was a clever way of getting out of the teacher-student, you know, swamp that could have been created there. You know, that he still has to finish school. I mean, technically he's still a student, so like that's bad, but he's legal, so you know, it's a quagmire.
Yeah, I'm going to have a suspicion here that you can't actually be back for a 4th year.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just not something you can do.
Once you age out, like, you don't actually have to go to school. Like, yeah, I'm done, bye. You know, but... Again,
oh, I'm sure, but even if he wants to go back and get the qualification, he wouldn't be doing it through the regular school day with all the other people who are, you know, school age. They'd be doing it at night or whatever. That's
why I kind of felt like he was mentally delayed a little bit, too. You know, he's not the sharpest tool in the box. I don't know.
Yeah, and go back to the idea of, like, you know, be yourself and be true to yourself and don't be ashamed of it. Even the gay friend who wants to lie, like, even he's hiding from everyone else and he's not being himself. And you see that he's at his happiest when he's with someone at the end.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's certainly the core message to the movie. It's, you know, and as with all teen movies like this, there should be a simple, uplifting kind of moral to take from it, and that's kind of it. Which is interesting. I think it is interesting that at no point is there any, like, conversations. If anything, they just make a joke out of the idea of telling kids not to have sex. Like, they never actually do that. If anything, it's just a joke. But at one point, Lisa Kudrow, she's, like, just handing her, like, a handful of condoms and saying, "Just be safe. This is fine. Don't regret it later."
I know what you think, but I don't actually need these. You're not listening.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, it's. And so that's another part of it that I like too, is that it doesn't, like you just said, it doesn't beat the kids over the head with that message. You know, it's kind of smart in that way of your choices have consequences, and you know.
Yeah, no, it works. It doesn't speak down, I don't think, and it's solid. I mean, as far as teen movies go, I mean, I enjoy teen movies. I typically like them even more when there's, like, another element to them. For example, like maybe Olive could also be slaying vampires. Like that could be something.
Right. Like what show is that?
Oh, the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I'm glad you asked, Matt. I'm so glad you asked. Cora never does. Cora sees that I'm setting it up and he's just like, "No, I'm not playing. I'm not playing."
Sometimes though, it's like playing volleyball. Like, yeah, so you need to volley it enough times to get it over the net. I don't see the point in just coming down and popping the ball.
Yeah, like absolutely. So. Yeah, Cora's just a pure sport. That's all he is. Yeah. But no, I think, because when I think of my favourite, that's obviously an extreme example, because not every teen thing is going to have, like, vampires in it.
Yeah, clearly.
But even, like, you know, Breakfast Club is a good example where it's also a bottle movie. It's also, it's got this really simple high concept of, no, they're trapped in the school all day on Saturday and they have to work through their problems. This is, of course, I mean, it has its thing where the webcam, and that's the narrative device to sort of, like, tell the story and stuff. And I enjoy it a lot. And the point I'm just making is, though, after this and after doing Mean Girls with Connor not too long ago, I'm like, okay, no, I like these well enough, but I don't necessarily love these teen movies as much as you guys do. And I think it's because I prefer it when there was just that little extra spark of something, you know, some other idea that's sort of mixed into it.
I get that, see. And I feel like you, as a movie fan, you can, you know, there's certain movies that you can go into camps. Like, you can be like a 2001 guy, you know, and that says a lot about you. Or, you know, a Blade Runner guy. And I feel that's how, with Breakfast Club, I feel like you're two camps. You really love Breakfast Club or you really love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I've met few people that are like, oh yeah, I love both of those movies. Because whereas I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I like Breakfast Club, and I feel you're the opposite. Where,
yeah, I definitely am.
Yeah, you love Breakfast Club, but you like Ferris Bueller. So, you know, and I think that's just it comes down to personal taste. At the end of the day,
most people bring up Alien or Aliens or Godfather Part 2 is the A or B scenario, but no, it's like you're either a Breakfast Club person or you're a Ferris Bueller person.
Well, in fairness, though, they're both John Hughes movies.
Oh, they
You
are.
know,
They are.
so
Which is actually
both
a
written by
fair
the same
point to
guy,
make.
directed by the same guy.
Is that at the end of the movie, when Woodchuck Todd shows up and he's got the music, he's got the song, he's got the lawnmower, he does not have the cake or anything such similar from 16 Candles that was brought up in the same montage.
Yeah, well, that's fine because that one's. I feel there's 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink comparisons along the same. One's
I'm
a
just
theory,
saying, would it have killed him to have a cake strapped to the hood of the lawnmower?
Maybe, I don't know. You don't want to put combustibles near an engine, Pete. Like,
It's fine. Look, I'm pretty sure you could strap a cake to the top of a car and you would have no risk of.
yeah, but I was making a joke about you wanting candles on the cake because of 16 Candles.
Candles don't have to be lit. Do you want to be safe about it? Candles don't have to be lit.
Also, I feel like you're lumping Say Anything in with John Hughes, and that's not John Hughes. That's Cameron Crowe.
Well, it's not, but it's in the montage with the rest of the things she mentions in the middle of the film. So.
I just want, before we get the comment that tries to correct, I want to get out ahead of it.
I've never actually see anything if we're talking about things, or 16 Candles for that matter.
Oh man, see, I wish I liked that one more. I don't. I like Pretty in Pink more.
Never seen Pretty in Pink either.
Good lord! So wait, the only two John Hughes movies you've seen are Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Breakfast Club?
Didn't he have something to do with
And
Home Alone?
I'm not counting like Home Alone or Plane, Trains, I'm talking about the teen.
Teen movies. Yeah, that's the two I've seen.
Oh, Pete, I just added. I don't want to call it ammunition because it's not ammunition. We're not doing that anymore. We've learned our lesson. But now I have some arrows for the quiver.
We can't do all these teen movies back to back. Eventually, they're all going to start to sound the same.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I have movies now that I know that you haven't seen. That was a problem before.
Okay. Yeah,
this is why we've done Easy A. But I've also learned that if there's a movie that you just like, you don't rewatch it. Like you said, you've seen this back when it came out, home release, basically. Whereas I've watched it numerous times on cable or even on my own Blu-ray collection.
I did like it enough to buy it, but I mean...
Yeah, but look behind it. There's...
Yeah.
You buying a movie doesn't denote quality, Pete. Like, that just means you want it for your collection.
I mean, no, it might do now, but there was a time when I would certainly buy a lot of stuff. That, and like looking at all the movies I own now, I'm like, there's probably a good third of these that I could jettison and not miss them. Yeah,
exactly. So that's... But now I have some things to add to the list that I know.
So there's the people the patrons who voted for this and the patrons who voted for Mean Girls, or not vote, they didn't vote for me. That was in the vault. But regardless, it was patrons who put that forward as an option. I feel like those are the same people who are going to be like, oh, he's not seen Pretty in Pink, he's not seen 16 Candles. Oh God, voting. I
won't do that to you that soon, but I do know now we can have some variants in mind. And I was worried that we're going to start getting down to my favorite comedies, which are those shows I worry about because comedy's so subjective. It's not like this.
You don't want me to rip through them.
No,
because I might. You put up Bill and Ted for the next vote, and if we end up doing that, and I don't like it, it's getting torn to shreds, Matt. You know what's happening.
Yeah, and I will lurch to the internet. It's on.
Oh dear. So she learns a lesson. She does all the things. In fact, my favorite thing at the end actually is where she just says to the webcam, she's like, hey, maybe I'll lose my virginity with Todd. Maybe it'll today, maybe it'll be next week, maybe it'll be 6 months, maybe it'll be on our wedding night. But you know what the best part about it is that it's none of your goddamn business. And then she leaves. I really liked that. It was like. Yeah. Above anything else, it felt like there was this sense of self-respect she'd gained back, and it was like, it's none of your business. This is my choice and no one else's, and it's not supposed to be gossip or something that everyone talks about. It was a nice sentiment, I thought.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because it is. She's learned her lesson about making her business everyone's business.
Also, you remember how I said I didn't know who Aly Michalka? That's her name. Aly Michalka. There you go. Who she was, but then obviously since this I've seen iZombie, and now I'm like, oh, that's her. I'll tell you two other people who I didn't know when this first came out. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. I didn't know who they were when this first came out.
That was pretty great to hear their names dropped there, right?
Yeah, like those two of the characters who are paying her for sex lies just happened to be named. Not back to back, I noticed though. They put another one in the middle, but in between them, just so it wasn't
So
obvious.
first they mentioned Phil Lord, and I was like, okay, that could be a coincidence.
Hmm.
And then like two later, they go, oh, and Chris Miller paid me with a coupon, and then she goes off on the guy, you know.
Yeah. So
I
I'm
was
I'm
like,
curious, actually, what involvement that they had, if any, because they didn't write this.
no, I think Burt Royal, the guy that did write it, I think he's friends with them.
Okay.
So
Because
you know,
as soon as I heard that, I thought, oh, was that an inside joke? Did they write this? Was this one of their earlier like things? And then I looked at it and I was like, no, it's not them. So no, it makes sense if that's their friends, and they're just like, oh yeah, I'm going to put a reference in. They'll think this is funny. So yeah, this is the thing. Yeah, overall, I like the movie quite a bit. Will I watch it again now after seeing it twice? I don't know.
mm,
It's the sort of thing where I don't know if I'll ever be in the if I'll ever get the itch to be like, I need to see that one again.
no, yeah, I sure. I mean, you did buy it on Blu-ray,
I did, but
so
that's my.
that's weird to me, you know.
I
Uh,
thought I would have more at the time, but I think in the last like decade, or not my tolerance, that's a weird word to use, but my
yeah.
threshold for how many movies I actually actively rewatch has definitely changed.
Yeah. Well, that's what got me. So mine are like if I'm gonna go out and buy it day one, you know, when it comes out on home release, that's how I'll know it's a keeper. And usually that's only been a select few
Well,
movies.
here's the thing though, like when I go out, when I like with new movies, I rarely feel myself inclined to actually go and get them that often now, mainly because like my lack of rewatching thing is there's movies that I like to rewatch, of course.
Mhm.
And Influx has been a great reason to rewatch some stuff over the past year or so. But it tends to be like now I just don't have time as much to rewatch things. Like it's just not something I have to like. I'm constantly reviewing new material, new movies, new TV shows, whatever. I have very little time just to rewatch things for the sake of rewatching them. So when it does happen, it tends to be
Oh,
something I truly love. So it's a lot of the I like this, but it's not like amazing.
yeah.
Like that tends to fall just fall through the cracks. Because it's the same with like back in my teens, I used to watch every extra on every DVD, every commentary track,
Oh,
everything. Now
yeah.
I don't have time for that at all. Every so often I'll be, I do like a good commentary track. I'll put one on, and it'll happen every so often. I like the big meaty documentaries about the making of something, but
Yeah.
it happens rarely now. It happens a couple of times a year. Whereas was I in my teens, every disc I got, and when I was
Mhm.
collecting, it was like I worked through
I
everything on every single one.
Yeah, I used to buy my DVDs and Blu-rays based off of the special features.
Mm.
Like, you know, and now it's not so much. Now it's if I can just get my hands on it, you know, I'll pick it up right then while it's cheap versus it going up $10, you know, the week later. So, but yeah, I don't own as many. I think I picked this one up in a discount bin. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I like that movie a lot. But most of the movies I tend to like a lot tend to be on cable a lot, and I'll just watch them there.
Mm.
So,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
so
yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this movie.
yeah.
As I added it to the list. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Would you
mean,
have a?
it's very witty. It's very like the witty dialogue is coming fast and thick. Almost looks so much that it probably does take two viewings to catch all the little jokes
Yeah.
that are kind of coming at you. So no, and also for the record, it's twat, not twat, twat. Okay.
Wow.
What were you
Big
saying?
twat.
You were asking me something
So,
about.
so what movie was up against this one? Because I end
Oh,
up
I
not.
can't remember. All
Uh,
these voting goes out my head as soon as they're done that.
gotcha.
I can't remember what was up against this.
Well, what's up? What's up for this vote?
So you've got Bill and Ted, whatever the first one
Yeah.
is.
Bill and Ted's Excellent
There
Adventure.
you go.
Yeah.
And then I have Stoker Up,
Oh
which is
God.
the English-speaking film by Park Chan-wook. Now, I didn't actually intend to pick something from a director that I'd already picked a movie from. It was
That's
just kind
fine.
of I was looking through
It's English
the
language.
I was looking through the movie possibilities, and I was like, oh, you know what, I could do with rewatching that.
Yeah.
And
I
hey,
almost went and saw this at the theater.
like this film, it is a coming-of-age story.
Yeah.
It's a much darker
Just
coming-of-age story, but it's a
much
coming-of-age
different
story.
coming of age story. Yeah. Bill and Ted though, time travel, comedy, you know,
Mm.
be excellent to each other, something we need a little more of in this world. I'm just saying, guys.
Yeah. And you can be excellent by voting for the other film to put Matt through some turmoil. That would be lovely.
Let's do this. So if you guys don't vote for Bill and Ted, then Bogus Journey's coming up next, and Pete's gonna have to watch them out of order. So
No. I just want to accept that as the option. I ain't watching a sequel before I watch the original. That's just the rule.
Then do what you need to.
You're the worst.
I am.
Absolute worst. All right, let's rate Easy A out of 10 then.
You go first, since we all know that I'm going to give it a high score.
I mean, I can't really like mark it down for much. Like, it's a really solid teen movie, really likable characters, lots of witty jokes, some nice poignant life lessons to be made throughout. Yeah, I think I'll give it an 8. I think it's a really solidly made movie, really tight script, really good characters. Emma Stone, the rest of the cast are all fantastic. It just basically comes down to, ultimately, this is kind of the ceiling for this movie for me. This is as good as it could be for me, if that makes sense. So
No, that's fine, because I have it about 8.5. So, that's fair. But I figured, not that you were going to lowball it, but I just wanted to see where yours was going to come in before.
No, I like it a lot. Like I say, I think for this type of movie, unless it has that extra special something that really speaks to me, there's a kind of a ceiling where it's going to hit, and it can't go any higher for me.
There was no David Lynch dream sequences, so Pete's like, cannot get more than an 8.
Hey, those high school bits, Twin Peaks are fantastic. Don't you even start.
The best part is, you'll never see them.
Hey, do you know what movie I really like that got shat on by the critical consensus as a teen movie? Barely Lethal.
Yes, we talk about this a lot.
That is a fun movie where it's like someone who's an assassin who's trying not to be an assassin and just be a regular girl.
And there's your other hook.
That's your other hook, but people shat on that. The critics shat on that, and I thought it was a really enjoyable movie. And also, I give it props because it's the only movie I can think of that has a parody of a porn title as its name. Because usually it's the other way around. The porn will take the title and porn it up. This was taking Barely Legal and turning it into Barely Lethal. I thought that was way.
It's pretty great. Yeah, it's a pretty fun movie too. People should check it out.
Yeah. So hey, I must say it's better because I think objectively this is probably a better constructed movie, but I kind of like Barely Lethal more.
It's what you enjoy more. I get it.
But hey, that is Overload for the month. So by all means, if you're a patron or if you want to be a patron, go over to patreon.com/MelFuzzTV and make sure to vote on the current vote. As I say, Bill and Ted versus Stoker, and you can see which one wins next month, and we'll do that. Also vote in the other votes because there's a vote for Influx between 4 movies, there's a vote for Screams that's got 4 movies in it, and you can go and check out those. And obviously there's a lot of benefits as well. So go and look at Patreon. Always helps to bag a few new patrons for the month. But of course you can also support us by watching the ads on YouTube, commenting, liking, subscribe, and all the usual stuff. Sharing us on the Twitters and whatnot. But otherwise, that is us. Thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies, and we'll see you next time.